It's a podcast. It's a podcast. It's a podcast.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fantasy and Other Stuff podcast. Today, we're experimenting. If you're watching the video, I might look a little different today. I might look even more crisp and clean than usual, and there's a reason for that. It's because I'm using my phone to record this video, and my phone has a way better camera than my iPad, so we're trying it out. I don't even know if I'm like in the center of the frame, because I can't see myself, so if you're watching the video and I look kind of strange, that's why. It's because I don't really know where I'm standing, like in relation to the screen, but we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna do it and we're gonna have a great time, okay? This is definitely my most jank setup so far during my travels. I don't really have anywhere to sit down that has like decent lighting. I don't even know if I'm in good lighting right now. I'm kind of just standing here in my hotel room. There are no windows in this hotel room, so we're just winging it. We're just kind of going for it, and we're going to see what happens. I don't really know how else to record this, so we're just going to go with it, all right? It's an adventure. That's part of the fun. It's an adventure for all of us. Me more than you, because you're just seeing this through the kit. You're only seeing my hotel room, but yeah, I kind of had to book this a little bit last minute because I had only planned up through like the 23rd for my travels, and then I was like, I'm just gonna see what I feel like doing after that. So right now I'm still in Phuket, Thailand. I ended up deciding to stay for a little bit because the first week was so full of stuff. I was doing like the EDM Festival, and then I felt kind of like sick a little bit, so I was just relaxing, and I was like, well, I want some more time here to actually like explore and do stuff, so I'm giving myself another week here, and then I am headed to the Philippines after that, and I believe that's going to end up being my last destination. I haven't fully decided on that yet, but I'm looking at coming back after a couple weeks in the Philippines, mostly because I'm running out of content to post on TikTok. Like, I've already posted most of the stuff that I had like pre-recorded, and I don't want to slack on that. I mean, I can record stuff while I'm here. It's just I don't really have much of a setup sometimes, and you know, I want to make sure that the content that's coming out is high quality, so it's something that I need to go back if I want to record more. That's not the only reason why, but that's part of it. One of my friends is also, he's been deployed for the past year, and he's coming back at the end of February, and I want to be there when he comes back because I miss him a lot. I haven't seen him in like 2 years. One of my best friends in the entire universe, and I want to see him. And yeah, I was planning on traveling for between 1 and 3 months, so I'm gonna kind of probably end up splitting the difference. I might stay longer. I haven't like fully decided yet. Like I said, I haven't bought a flight or anything. I'm just starting to think about what I want to do, because I have some ideas for long form content that I am very excited about. I don't want to spoil anything because I have some really funny video ideas they're book video ideas that I think are going to be a lot of fun. I've been like watching like editing tutorials and like figuring out like different technology I could be using to make these videos, and I have some really cool video ideas. I just can't record them while I'm here. So right now we're just going to continue on with the podcast, which has been my gateway to feeling like I can create more long-form content. So I'm excited for that, and that's something that when I get back to the States, you can expect to see more of, is like creative long-form content. Anyways, also, if you're not in the Patreon, right now we are voting for next month's genre that we're going to read in the book club. I believe right now thriller is what I was about to check my phone is recording, so I can't do it. I believe thriller is winning right now, so right now it looks like we're going to read a thriller. I believe in second place is history. History has like 30% of the votes, and then last was horror, and then romance is on there as a genre, and I'm just going to let you guys know it has 0 votes. It's going to keep going on there. We're going to read it one of these months, okay? I have 12 genres exactly chosen out for this year, okay? I chose 12 genres, and I'm just going to keep putting them in the poll. So now we read sci-fi in January. It's gone. We're not reading sci-fi again this year in the super secret book club because it's gone. We chose it first. It's gone. You guys wasted it. We didn't waste it. We read a good book. It's fine. I'm just letting you know how it's going to work. So right now it looks like we're going to be reading a thriller, which I'm excited about because I haven't read a thriller in years. I believe the last thriller I read is A Silent Patient a thriller? I believe technically it's a thriller. I read that back when I was like first getting into reading. That was like fucking, God, it was like I want to say I read that like 5 years ago. I mean, I was reading at that time, but like not nearly as much as I am now. And I just picked it up at the library. I remember liking it, but now I see a lot of people hate it. And I'm like, would I hate it now? Now that I've read a lot more books, would I read it and be like, this isn't good? I don't know. I remember liking it when I think I was still 18 years old. So I don't know. I have fond memories of the thrillers that I've read, so I'm excited if that is the genre that we choose. Anyways, let's get into the weekly update because I've just been yapping about nonsense. I finished reading The Hunger of the Gods just yesterday. I've been reading it all this week. It's fun. It's a fun series. If I had to sum up all my thoughts and feelings, that's it. It's fun. It's a fun series. I think that the action is extremely well written. That's definitely its biggest strength, is that John Gwynne is extremely good at writing like close quarters combat and making it both intense and very vivid, so I can see exactly like what these characters are doing and just how bloody and brutal his combat is, which is extremely fun to read. And it has this breakneck pace where like every other chapter there's a fight scene going on, which, you know, sometimes I wish he would slow it down a little bit, but I think for this specific story that he's telling, it works because it is a very dangerous world, and these characters are in groups and in situations where constant action actually makes a lot of sense. So I think he's leaning into his strengths in that respect as a writer. But I don't know. I don't like this series as much as I think some people do. Some people really love it, you know. It's like their favorite thing ever. I've seen people give this book like, it's like one of their 6 out of 5 star books. Yeah, it's good. I liked it. That's what I have to say. I don't love this series, but I like it. It's good. I recommend it. I think it's a good series. The characters are good enough. The world is interesting enough. The plot is interesting enough. The action is great. And I think that there are some sequences in this that really just pull you in, and you just can't put it down until you're done, which is absolutely a big compliment for a book. So I recommend, if you like all those things, I recommend, especially if you like Viking and Norse mythology, that's all going to be interwoven into there. And I enjoyed in this book also, in the first book there was three perspectives, and this one, it opens the gates to 2 more perspectives that are like villains in the story, and you get to kind of see like where they're coming from and what their motivations are, and sort of how they're also pulling strings and influencing the overarching story, which is something I always appreciate when an author decides to take a step back from the main characters or like the good guys, I guess, and kind of show you what the bad guys are doing too. It's something I wish more series did, actually. I feel like a lot of series, even when we do that, it's meant to sort of humanize the bad guys in some ways, or like show you like, oh, well, they're, you know, from their perspective, they're actually a good guy, which I don't think is that revolutionary of an idea. But there's a specific character in this second book that like you're supposed to just hate him. Like you're not really supposed to be rooting for him, but like seeing why he does things and the way he thinks about people makes him a better character to me, and I don't like him at all. I don't think he's like, I hate him, but I wish more authors did that, where they just write characters that are just detestable for the sake of being detestable. Like I don't want necessarily to sympathize with everyone, you know? So that's something that I also appreciated about this book. And yeah, the last like 300 pages, I just flew through them in like 3 days. It's one of those books that like, pages will just fly by and you won't even notice because there's constantly something interesting happening. Most chapters end on a cliffhanger or on something exciting about to happen, and then you're like, oh shit, now I gotta go to this person. But then you're waiting to come back to that scene. It's almost, I mean, it's obviously intentional, but I think John Gwynne does it extremely well because he's constantly doing it in a way that leaves you not only going to the next page, but to the next chapter and to the next story beat. Which is difficult to pull off, and I definitely commend him as a writer for that, because a lot of people, it feels cheap, you know, if an author's constantly leaving you hanging or constantly leaving you on edge, it's like, it feels a little manipulative. It doesn't feel like that in this. It just feels like he's got this rhythm and this pace to the way he's telling his story, and it just works really well for the nature of this book. So yes, enjoying this series. We'll definitely be finishing it. Yeah, that was a good book. That's my thoughts, really. Good book. I don't really know what else to say about it. I know it's hard for me to understand sometimes when I'm talking to other people or when I see other people talking about books that I like but don't love. I'm like such a lover boy, you know. I'm so excitable about books, and I'm like, damn, what am I missing? Like, I feel jealous. I wish that I loved this. I do like it a lot, but I wish I was like over that next like ridge and like was like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. But I'm not quite there. And that's like the worst feeling sometimes, because like I want to be there. So that's that. And then in other news, what I'm reading right now, I just started it this morning. I'm about 50 pages in, I want to say. I started reading, drumroll please, you're never going to guess what it is unless you're in the Discord and you saw my messages about this. I started reading Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I knew absolutely nothing about this book going in. So in the Discord, someone had I can't remember exactly what the context was, but someone had mentioned this book and said that it was their favorite book of all time. And I was like, I've never even heard of this before. But the name captured my attention, Anxious People. I was like, Anxious People? No way. That's me. I'm one of them. I'm an anxious person. I should read this book. So I put it on hold in the library, and it said like 8 weeks. And it's like a week and a half later, and I already have it. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just read that next. I didn't really have any plans, so I was like, sure, why not? So I started that. Beginning is very interesting so far. I'm definitely enjoying it so far. Bachman has this very, he's very silly as a writer. Like, he makes a lot of jokes, but he's also got this like emotional levity to everything he's writing. And I feel like the characters are all very interesting so far. And I haven't read a literary fiction book in a while, so this is a fresh, sort of vibe that I'm getting from this book. I've been reading exclusively fantasy for months now, so it's nice to get this little switch up here and to have something a little bit outside my wheelhouse in the repertoire here. So I'm excited to read this. You will get my full thoughts next week. I'm definitely going to finish it in the next few days probably, and then I don't know what I'm reading after that. I have a couple other books on hold in the library. I just don't know. I'm not even going to try to speculate what I'm going to read next, because I have so many things like kind of bouncing around in my head. I know that next month, I believe that The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett won the Fable Book Club poll, so I will be reading that. I'm probably going to read The Wall of Storms, which is the second book in the Dandelion Dynasty. That's all I got. Maybe I'll read The Fury of the Gods next month. I don't know. Maybe I'll wait till like March for that. I haven't decided yet. But I know that those two are most likely happening, and then obviously a thriller. And then I'm out of ideas, bucko. I have no idea what I'm reading apart from those things. No clue. And you know what? That's the way I like it. That's the way, I like it, that's the way, Okay, let's not do that. Let's not break down into to song right now. Oh, but I wanted to tell you guys, so last week with the weekly update, I told you I was going to an EDM festival and I had no idea what to expect. It was fucking amazing. It was one of the greatest experiences of my entire life. It was, oh my God, I don't even know where to begin. There were so many amazing things that happened there. I met so many people and just made so many memories in just 3 days. I can't believe it's already been a week. It's been over a week since it ended now, or since the first day ended. This time last week, I was like getting dressed to go to day 2. There's no fucking way. Time is not real. It feels like it was yesterday, dude. What is that? And it was so incredible. Every single night was just amazing. I met new people every single night. But I kept running into people that I had seen like the day before, and then we would chat again. And there's like tens of thousands of people there. So like bumping into someone randomly, there's 4 stages. How does that happen? You just bump into someone that you just, I don't get it. It's so cool. And like everyone there was so friendly, and like the vibe is just so welcoming. Like everyone wants everyone to have a good time, and like it's just so cool. I fucking loved it. I loved it so much. And I never used to understand like the appeal of EDM music. Like I liked it, but I was like, man, how do people like listen to this all the time? Now I get it. It's the vibe. You can't be listening to that just like by yourself with headphones on in your room and expect to like understand the appeal. It has to be in the right setting, and also it needs to be something you can experience it that way. I have before. There are songs I found like that, but to like fully get like what that actually is meant to be like. I think you kind of have to either go to something like this, or you need to experience it in the right setting, or it just scratches the right itch in your brain, right? And this 3 days for me did all of those things, right? I ticked every box. I get it. I like EDM music now. I added so many songs to my playlist. It was just so fun. I did so much dancing and just, oh my God, it was amazing. It was amazing. I had the best time. That definitely is the highlight of my overseas trip so far, by far. And I met a bunch of people from the Philippines, like so many people, like I want to say like 20 people from the Philippines. It was insane. And they all went back to their home, and that's why I'm going to the Philippines now, because they told me like, oh, come visit us, like we'll show you around, and like they're gonna let me stay with them. Like it's so awesome. It's awesome. They're like the nicest people. I met so many amazing people. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm done ranting about that. It was just so cool, such an amazing experience, and I would not trade that for the world. I'm definitely going to go to more like festivals now, more raves, which I never thought I would be that kind of person, but now I am. Like I'm going to like put money aside to make sure I can do these things, because it was just that incredible. So I'm going to try and make that happen like a couple times a year, maybe like once a year even, just is enough probably. That was amazing. This whole trip has been worth it just for that. So that's what I've been doing. And now I'm just living the island life. Right now I've just been chilling at beaches, eating so much food. There's a lot of really good food markets here in Phuket. So I've just been eating my heart out, been eating so much. It is a problem. I'm eating like too much and spending too much money. But you know what? I don't care. That's why I'm here. It's a problem, but it's not a problem for me in the present. It's a problem for me in the future when I look at my bank account, which I'm not doing right now. So I'm fine. I'm chilling for now. For now, I'm being chilling. Okay. So it's been a great time. I've been having fun giving you these weekly updates. When I get back to the States eventually, they'll be less interesting because I won't have like cool stories to tell you. But I'll probably be like, watching more movies and watching shows and reading more manga and whatnot. Oh, in manga news, I caught up. I reread all the way through Arlong Park in One Piece, which if you don't know is like near the end of like the first major arc of the story, and it's just as good as I remember. Actually, it's better than I remember. Eiichiro Oda has been so good from the very beginning. I'm not going to get into it. Actually, I want to make like a full dedicated One Piece video, which is one of the long form content things that I'm thinking about doing. Just breaking down like just how deep it actually is if you're looking, if you're thinking, if you're using your brain. Because I think a lot of people don't when they watch anime or when they see the art style. They think that they just stop thinking. They shut their brain off. But there's so much, like on this reread especially, I am getting a crazy amount of this. The amount of work Oda was doing from the beginning with theme, symbolism, character, foreshadowing, just setting up different plot elements that don't come into play till way down the line. And the way he's juggling all these things and also making like political statements. And dude, the guy, he is such a, I can't believe he was writing this stuff. Like this arc specifically, he was my age. He was 24 writing this shit. What do you mean? That's some bullshit, man. Anyways, I'll give you a whole One Piece video eventually, just not right now. So, yeah, that's about it for this week's update. I really don't have much else to say because a lot of my time was taken up by that festival, and I've only been reading like that one book. But it's been a great time. I'm having the time of my life. I'm just staying very busy. I don't really have as much time as I would like to be interacting with the community right now. I can carve out more time, especially now that I'm not like actively doing things that I planned beforehand, because now I'm in the twilight zone. Now I'm just kind of doing whatever I feel like because I don't have any plans beyond chilling. So I'm going to be a little more active online now and be a little more engaged than I have been the past few weeks because all that stuff was like pre-booked. Now I'm in the I do whatever I feel like zone. So that's where we're at. Also been working on my writing. I am back up to 20,000 words on the newest redraft of my book, which is about where I wanted to be at this point. I'm hoping that I can have that finished in the next under 2 months. Less than 2 months. I want to be done with the first draft and be working on revisions so that I can have a good version of this book around May. Again, I can't tell you why around May is important, but it is. So that's where I'm at with my writing. I'm having a great time. I'm glad that I switched to multi-POV. It's working a lot. a lot better for introducing different world building elements and just having this story feel a little more natural rather than trying to kind of cram everything into one character's sort of experience of the world, which is something that I didn't realize I needed for my story until I started rewriting it like this. And I'm like, wow, this was definitely a good decision. So that's where I'm at with my writing. And yeah, that's about it, folks. I don't know that there's anything else I need to update you on. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a grand time, and I'm hoping you're enjoying the podcast. I know that these episodes can be a little chaotic because I am a little chaotic, and I know that I tend to kind of just ramble and never shut up. So if you have anything that you would like to see change on the podcast, or any suggestions, anything that you would prefer in the podcast, anything you want me to talk about, just let me know. Go in the Discord, leave a message, leave a comment on here. It doesn't really matter. I will get to it. I am genuinely interested because this is a one-man podcast, which is a little weird. It also gives me some freedom, though. Like, I can kind of just do whatever I want. And getting suggestions from you would help me sort of refine this process. And I know that the setup is a little jank, but that will only last until I'm back in the States and I have my whole, studio, quote unquote, which is just one part of my bedroom. So yeah, that's about it for today, though. I will see you guys in the next video, which, by the way, if you're still listening at this point, go on my Discord. I'm opening up a Q&A section, which is going to be used for next video. I'm going to be answering questions from you all. So if you want to ask me something, go in the Discord and ask me there. And those are where I will be answering questions from. So just go do that if you're interested in asking me anything. If not, I'll see you in the next video anyways. So until then, I hope you're happy and healthy. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.